वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Welcome back. This time it was a big interval. It's about a month. The whole of April we could not do anything. Anyway, the last verse 4th of chapter 2. If you just recollect that Arjun was arguing that Katham Bhishmamaham Sankhe Dronam Che Madhusudana Ishuvehi Pratiyotsyami Pujaraha Varisudana. This Bhishma and Dron, they are respected, they are elderly. And how can I fight? How can I fight? And Bhagwan Krishna told him to Arjun, right? So Arjun, that he said, I can't fight. So in the next verse, he says with verse 5th, we will see after a while, he's speaking but politely, right? But let's have this verse 5th first. Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum bhaikshyamapi haloke. Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum bhaikshyamapi haloke. Hatvartha kamanstu guru nihaiva bhunjiya bhogan rudira pradigdhan. Hatvartha kaman stu guru nihiva bhunjiya bhogan rudira pradigdhan. Means better to live on alms. Alms, ALMS, Bhiksha Magwani. Another word of begging, but begging is, but you can't compare this word with begging. Better to live on alms in this world than to slay those noble elders, because after killing them we could enjoy only bloodstained pleasure in the form of wealth and sense object, or all kind of material pleasure. That was another argument from Arjun. So again in the previous one, so it seems after reading these words, this particular word, that the words of Bhagwan Krishna uttered in the same chapter, second, third verse, had some effect on Arjun. Now, Arjun is thinking that though Bhagwan Krishna knows that it's not justified for him to kill his venerable elders, yet he is unable to understand why he is ordering him to wage war. So, Arjun does not speak with excitement, but speaks somewhat politely. He says, Guru Nahatva. himahanubhavan Shreyo bhoktum bhaikshamapi haloke. What it says? Arjun first presents his point of view, saying that if he did not fight with revered Bhishma and Drona, Bhishma, great grandfather, Drona, the master, the teacher who has taught him, so did not fight with Reverend Bhishma and Drona, etc., Dronacharya by himself, would not fight with him either. Thus, he would lose his kingdom and suffer. Then he would be leading a life of misery and could even depend on alms. But he thinks it's better to live on alms than to slay his reverend elders. They are respected persons, respected characters in my life. So rather, I live on alms. Ihaloke means if I live on alms, people in the world will dishonor, reproach, and insult me. But I think accepting alms is better than killing my respectable preceptors, better than killing Bhishma, the great grandfather, better than killing Drona, my guru, my teacher, who has taught me. Ihaloke, api, even. Api means for me, slaying the noble preceptors and living on alms both are forbidden. But I think it's more sinful to kill the preceptors than to live on alms. You know, these are the argument from Arjun. Just think about Shakespeare's Hamlet. To be or not to be is a question for me. But Hamlet did not have Krishna in his life. Whereas Arjun has Bhagavan Krishna. Kaivardakaha Krishna. Hatvartha kamanstu guru nihaiva bhunjiya bhogan drudira pradigdhan. Furthermore, what he says? If I carry out your command to wage war, what I will enjoy? I will enjoy blood-stained pleasure, which will not give me peace and salvation. You know, he's talking very sugar-coated. When you listening to Arjun, when you try to understand what Arjun says, you almost convinced that no, what Arjun says is right. Here, a question might arise that Bhishma and Drona, etc., preceptors were attached to Kaurav because of pecuniary motives, all the financial motives, wealthy motives. Therefore, what is the objection if artha kaman, artvartha kaman stu gruniheva, artha kaman is taken as an adjective qualifying grun? The answer is that it is not proper because they had no desire for money. It was incumbent upon them to fight on Duryodhana's side because they had eaten his salt. I mean, it's since we are taking Swami Ram Sukhdasji's commentary in our classes. Ram Sukhdasji, you can say, he's a living Gita, the person who has lived Gita, you can say. So Ram Sukhdasji's commentary says they had eaten his salt. But particularly if we take Bhishma, no matter what, no matter who is the ruling king, but what I understood, what my interpretation about Bhishma is, he has declared his loyalty to that kingdom of Hastinapur. Doesn't matter who is there. So that's why Bhishma was from Kaurav's party. Secondly, Arjuna has used the term Mahanubhavan, most noble. So how can the most noble souls desire money? Those who desire money could not be most noble. Therefore, here Arthakaman is the adjective which qualifies Bhogan. Bhogan is enjoyment. It's not for Bhishma or the throne. We just need to understand the verse by verse. We will try to understand word by word. We'll try. So, some exceptional fact also we need to discuss. Bhagavan Krishna, in the second and third verse, orders Arjun to array himself by casting off petty faint-heartedness and fight. But Arjun gets him wrong, because he thinks that Bhagavan Krishna has ordered him to wage war so that he might enjoy the pleasure of kingship. The worldly people having a materialistic outlook cannot even think of spiritualism. Here Arjun, also being overtaken by family attachment and infatuation, is thinking only of materialism rather than spiritualism. So he is thinking that Bhagavan Krishna wants him to wage the war so that he may obtain kingdom. But Bhagavan Krishna wants him to attain salvation. Look, when we try, it's almost impossible for us to understand Bhagavan Krishna, but we will take the path who has the great men taken to understand Bhagavan Krishna. Okay. So even by fighting, Arjun can attain salvation. That bravery, that courage, only Bhagavan Krishna can have. No other great people. Arjun, however, perceive only evil in waging the war. For Arjun, he thinks war is a bad thing. But Bhagavan Krishna was thinking totally opposite. Even by fighting, he can attain salvation. He said that it would be better for him if his opponents killed him in the war. So with his mind affected by grief, he sat slumped on the seat of the chariot, which we have seen in the first chapter, last verse. He had also said that Duryodhana and his companions, being goaded by greed, were prepared to wage war. Now Arjun says for himself that if he carries out his order and wages war, he will enjoy only bloodstained pleasure in the form of wealth and sensual enjoyment, all the material happiness. Thus, he perceives nothing but evil in waging war. That is Arjun's thinking. That is Arjun's perception about war. When an evil comes to us in the form of an evil, it's easier to do away with it than when it comes in the garb of something good. Underline this sentence. When an evil comes to us in the form of an evil, it's easier to do away with it than when it comes in the garb of something good. I mean, suited booted. I always tell that. Madhu tishtati jihvagre hridayetu halahalam. The person will talk with us, all sweet-coated. But in his heart or in her heart, full of poison. Madhu, honey. Tishtati jihvagre, on the tip of tongue. But hridayetu halahala. Hriday means heart, inside. Halahal means poison. So here, it's similarly like that. Ravan and devil Kalnemi could not be recognized by Sita and Hanuman respectively, because both of them disguised themselves as sages. When Ravan came, Sita Mata was alone. And he took the dress, he presented himself as a full of virtuous Brahmin, and he was there to beg. Similarly happened with Kalnemi, and Hanumanji, because both of them, okay, they have presented themselves as a sages. Similarly, Arjun perceives that it's virtuous not to wage war, and it's an evil to wage the war, but he is completely mistaken. Hence, even Bhagwan Krishna finds it difficult and time-consuming to bring Arjun round to the realization of fact. It's coming slowly. With next two verse, this is the 5th verse. 7th verse, it's coming, but even if we have time, I'm not going to take the 7th verse today, deliberately. Because according to the great saint and great scholar, the Geeta real stars once Arjun surrender himself. Okay, I'm not going to discussing that now. Okay, so to bring Arjun round to the realization of this fact, today, in the name of unity in society, people are determined to abolish that system which our sages has given. It's not the caste. It's a foreorder of the society. Brahmacharya ashram, Grahastha ashram, Vanapastha ashram, and Sannyasa ashram. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. But they are not thinking about the disastrous consequences. It's an arrangement. It is an arrangement for any society. We need some people who can look after the society about their spiritual upliftment. We need some people in the society, those who can protect everything. We need some people who are business minded, Vaishya, what we call Vanya. We need some people who can provide the material need of the society. That's how the Varnashram Dharma, it will be coming in 4th chapter. Chaturvarnamaya Srushta Bhagwan Krishna himself says. So, thus here for Arjuna also an evil of unmanliness has disguised itself as righteousness, and thus he says how he can slay his noble elders. It means that whatever Arjuna considers as virtue is in fact an evil, but it does not appear to him to be an evil as in abandonment of his duty. That he feels that non-violence is the virtue. And why? Because of his attachment to his relatives. I mean, look, it's Arjun, as in the beginning I told that this he uttered politely. The feelings of elders and preceptors such as Bhishma and Drona, etc., are noble and pure because even while waging the war, they have no partiality. The holy words of Bhagwan had singular effect and exerted a deep and far-reaching influence on Arjuna, as a result of which he starts doubting the correctness of his decision not to wage war in such a state of mind. What now Arjuna says next verse 6. न चैद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरियो यद्वा जयेम यदिवा नो जयेयुः न चैतद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरियो यद्वा जयेम यदिवा नो जयेयुः यानेव हत्वा न जिजे विषामस् यानेव हत्वा न जिजे विषामस् तेव स्थिताः प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः तेव स्थिताः प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः. We don't know which is meritorious for us, to fight or not to fight, nor do we know whether we shall win or they will conquer us. The sons of Dhartarashtra, by killing whom we do not even wish to live, are arrayed against us. Na chaid vidma kataranno ghariyo. I cannot decide whether I should wage war or not, because you consider it better to wage war, but I do not do so. I mean, he was honest enough in front of Bhagwan Krishna that you may consider, but I don't. Because you consider it better, but I don't think so. As it is a sin to kill noble elders and preceptors. Yadva jayema, yadiva no jayeyuho. If I carry out your order and wage war, we don't know whether we shall win or lose. Here, it does not mean that Arjuna has no confidence in his own power, but he is uncertain about the future because no one knows what may happen in future. Yes, in Arjun was brave enough. He has absolutely no doubt. But yes, he is uncertain about the future. And that's why there is a saying, ન જાણ્યું જાનકીનાથે સવારે શું થવાનું છે. Janakinath is Bhagwan Ram. What's going to happen in the morning? When Bhagwan Ram didn't know. Bhagwan Ram is Bhagwan Ram, but it's a saying that everything was on track, that he is going to become king next day. And next morning what he heard? That he is going to forest for 14 years. In that context, Arjuna has used this word, Yadva Jayama Yadivano Jayayo. If I carry out your order and wage war, we don't know whether we shall win or lose. It's in that context, okay? Yane Vahatva Najiji Vishama. Not to speak of pleasures and kingdom, we do not even wish to live by killing our kinsmen, because by killing them we shall be bereft of them and thus shall suffer pinch of bereavement. Okay. So we don't want. What's the point? Your all relatives are not there. What's the point? That's exactly Arjun's argument. Teva sthitaha pramukhe dhartarashtraha. Dhritarashtra's son are our kinsmen. Yeah, because they were cousin. And they are arrayed against us. So how can we kill them? If we wish to live by killing them, that's not nice. That's Arjun's, you can say, the final argument. Finding himself at the, it was disturbing for him. He was restless. Then he prays to Bhagwan Krishna. He surrenders himself in the next verse 7th. He takes refuge. We will be just reciting this verse and not starting the discussion or the explanation. The 7th verse, very important, very important. Karpanya dosho pahatasvabhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma samudhachetaha yachreyam syan nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham Shadhimam tvam prapannam. Meaning, what Arjun says, my nature is overwhelmed with the vice of faint-heartedness, and my mind is confused with regard to my duty. I entreat you, tell me, what is decidedly good for me? I am your disciple. Do instruct me, who have taken refuge in you. Dear friends, we're going to stop here. We're going to stop here, okay? And the next